Hey guys, thought I would do a full tank tour. First, this is what runs my lights. It's my AI director setup. I know a couple of guys have this. I really like it a lot. Um, I set it once, hardly never mess with it. Fine tuned it, got it where I want it, and it just pretty much does its thing. I just let it keep going. I'll just start with inside the tank first before I get into equipment. Just the livestock in the tank, fish and corals. Got hermit crabs and snails, the basics. Like a little hermit crab under there hiding. That is scrolling monopore. Plating is a plating monopore. And it started from that little frag plug right there. About 2 years ago I got it. And that's what it's grown into. That's probably about, would it say 18 inches across? I got a sail fin, 2 black and white clouds. Got 2 pajama cardinals that have babies about every 3 weeks. The fish and the corals have a field day with it. Bird nest. Got a lot of polyps. I think that's a Jedi mind trick. Got a pretty good Zoa garden going. Couple leathers, acans and brains. Equipment side of things. I got a Jaybo 40 power head, and I've got it set to Wave 1, Speed 2. And this tank is 6 foot long, and it makes a really good wave. I'm happy with it. I kind of like the back and forth motion. Seems like it works pretty good. For lights, I'm running 3 AI Vegas. Got 1, 2, 3, and they're on a AI Vega rail. And it just comes down each side of it like that. And you've seen the AI director website or interface. It's the Jaybo controller. Let's see. And that's the director. I have 2 overflow boxes. This tank is not drilled. 1 on each side, and I kind of like the overflow box look. Takes up a little less space. Everybody likes their own thing, I guess. 2 returns on each side. It's all plumbed PVC. This tank is viewable from 2 sides. It kind of splits the room. The front side, of course, looks better than the back. This is the back side. And I kind of put these kind of cardboard pieces here so you can't see the overflow boxes and the plumbing from the front of it. There's 2 aqua lifters, 1 for each overflow box. It keeps a full siphon. And I've heard people say they've had problems with these things over the years. The pumps fail, and then you don't get a siphon. I can unplug these pumps, turn the system off, turn it back on, and it starts up. It just doesn't flow as much. I probably could run this tank off 1 box. I put 2 as a fail-safe. And I've never had a problem with it. I've been running these boxes about 2 years. The pumps I've had to replace the pumps. They've quit on me, and still never no issue. There's 2 hermit crabs hanging out in this box because they decided they wanted to start eating polyps. So they're free if somebody wants them. Okay, underneath the tank. Got some gadgets and tools mounted. That's the inside of the door. I got a DJ control box, American DJ I think is what it's called, control box. That's pretty much running everything. My RO system is actually underneath the tank. Got a water line here that feeds to RO, waste line right there, and it's connected directly to my auto top off bucket, but I don't leave it on. I just turn it on when I need it. I like to flush it out. It's got a flush valve. I like to flush it out before I use it. That way you don't get any, they call it TDS creep or whatever. So I always flush it a little bit before I use it. It's a BRS. Had it a couple of years. It always worked pretty good. I did have to put a boost pump on it because I live in the country and I got well water, so the water pressure's low. So with the boost pump, here I'll give you a demo. Turn it on. So it's on now. So without the boost pump, I'm running at about 40, which I guess isn't bad. But I can turn the boost pump on. And I kick it up to about 80. I've ran it both ways, and with that higher pressure, my filters definitely last longer, about twice as long with the higher pressure. I think it maximizes the membrane better, gets better use out of it. Okay, this is my auto top off bucket. It pretty much runs off a little dose pump right here, a little BRS dose pump. I've had that thing probably 4 or 5 years. Never did anything to it but to put it in. I've got a carbon reactor, also BRS. Just fill it up with carbon. Works good. We'll go into the other door. I got some controllers mounted on the inside of this door. Reef Fanatic auto top off. True Temp control, heater controller. Just some tools for feeding corals, and there's the Jaybo return pump. And the sump. The sump is not a real big sump. I think this is maybe a 10 gallon, 20 gallon sump. It used to be a old, it had bio balls in it. It used to be an old trickle filter. I was running a fish only system. Yanked the bio balls out and just pretty much put a big sump in it in replace of it. First chamber pretty much is just a return pump. It's the pump over here for the carbon reactor. Then you got the little float valve in the back for the auto top off. I know they have a lot better auto top offs now that don't use a float, because instead of floats can get stuck. But I've had this thing for years and years and it's never failed, it's never tore up, so I'm not going to buy a new one until it quits. Then I'll get a new one. I got a cutoff for my return. It's plumbed in PVC. It splits into two. One goes to each side. Skimmer. A skimmer is a Vertec Omega 150. It comes from BRS as well. I'm a BRS guy. I don't know. The lights come from BRS. I love this skimmer. It's worked great for me. It's a CC pump. I can't remember how many gallons. I've had the skimmer about a year. Those are my 2 filter socks for my returns in here. And I pull them out of there about twice a week and swap them with clean ones. And I'll tell you something easy you can do. I turn them inside out, put them in my washer, just set it to hot, and it cleans them out great. You can use these things forever if you wash them. And I do that twice a week, and you'll get a pretty good lifespan out of them. My skimmer air intake, I've actually got a line going out, and this line goes outside and draws in fresh air. Had some pH problems in the past, not really problems, but I could get to like 7.8. Did a lot of reading and research, and read up that CO2 in your home can cause your pH to be low. I did a little test. You can take some water out your tank and test it. Take it outside, just take it out in the fresh air, a couple in your tank water, your pH would go up in like a couple of seconds. It's pretty crazy. So that sucks fresh air right outside into the skimmer. And when I did that, my pH now, if I check it in the morning, it's about 8.1. I can check it in the evening, and it's about 8.2. So very little pH swing. So that really solved that problem. I think the only thing else I've got is as far as what I dose in the tank. I use calc for calcium. Some people call it calc washer. Some people use pickling lime instead. I think it's the Bulk Reef Supplies, of course. Calc. I just put half a cup. Actually, it's a little measuring cup right here. A half a cup a week in this bucket, and I change it out once a week. I'll try to save as much water as I can. Dump the old calc out. Put another scoop in there, and this stuff is really cheap. You can get a bucket of stuff for $10, and it lasts me. Maybe I might replace the bucket twice a year. This calc. My calcium stays at like 500. I don't even think about calcium. It does a really good job with it. It just doses it with the auto top off system. It takes care of my calcium and my alkalinity. I never put anything in the tank for alkalinity ever. The alkalinity stays at about 11. And the only other thing that I dose is magnesium. I do put magnesium in it twice a week. I put the recommended dose on the bottle, and I just use Coral Life Pro Reef Salt, and it works really good. I know everybody has their favorites. Everybody swears on their brand. I've tried a couple of them. That's the one that works really good for me. So I've been using it now for, I think I'm on my 3rd bucket of it. And with me, that's really only about a 50-gallon bucket. Might last me a month, because I do 20 gallon water change a week. So I'm doing about 80 gallons a month on this tank. But I mean, the tank it has 0 algae. I never get hair algae. My hermit crabs starved to death in this thing. They start eating my polyps, and all I have is a skimmer. So that's my tank. Leave questions and comments if you have any. Thank you.